I feel absolutely marvelous. I just had my annual checkup, and all my tests are completely clear. There's no sign. There's no sign whatsoever of a cancerous recurrence at this point, and I am convinced I'm completely cured.
In September 1974, U.S. First Lady Betty Ford underwent a routine physical examination at Bethesda Naval Hospital. During the exam, her physician palpated a breast mass. It was malignant. It was breast cancer. 8 days later, Mrs. Ford underwent a modified radical mastectomy.
When I went into the operating room that morning, I had a pretty good premonition that it was going to turn out to be a malignancy and that my breast would have to be removed. But once the operation was over, I was really very much relieved.
With a degree of candor that was extraordinary for the time, Mrs. Ford spoke openly about her diagnosis. Breast cancer was a private disease confined to the realm of whispers, euphemisms, or it wasn't discussed at all. Betty Ford's disclosure challenged that equilibrium. Within days, physicians reported a sharp increase in the number of women seeking breast examinations. In an unfortunate coincidence, Second Lady Happy Rockefeller underwent breast cancer surgery just weeks later.
I just want to say there are two very grateful people here. Grateful to the most wonderful doctors and nurses and the whole staff of this magnificent hospital.
Awareness expanded, and so did perceived risk. The increased number of diagnoses was nicknamed the Betty Bump. Mrs. Ford was a dancer, and she famously danced barefoot atop a table at the White House. The Bump. Welcome back. Today, a look at early detection, the watchword of breast cancer awareness. But is early detection the answer? What about finding the elusive causes of breast cancer? And how do we separate signals from noise? שלום, ברוכים השבים לדוברי העברית. היום נעסוק בגילוי מוקדם, מושג מרכזי בשיח על הסרטן השד. אכן גילוי מוקדם הוא אכן התשובה, ומה לגבי ניטור הגורם עם מחמקק למחלה, כיצד מבחינים פינות לרעש. In the late 1970s, breast cancer detection relied largely on physical examination by nurses and physicians.
I must approve, Mrs. Wright, and while I am examining your breasts, this is just the time for me to teach you how to do it yourself, because the methods you ought to use are patterned after those that we physicians use. Now, first of all, Mrs. Wright,
Screening mammography, low-dose X-rays to look for cancer existed, but it was not yet a routine practice. That began to change as evidence accumulated. Early randomized trials, including the Health Insurance Plan study in New York, suggested a reduction in breast cancer deaths among women over 50 who underwent regular mammograms. In 1976, annual mammograms became the standard of care. By the 1980s, screening and early detection had acquired a quiet authority. In 1987, breast cancer visited the White House again. First Lady Nancy Reagan underwent a mastectomy after a lesion was identified on a screening mammogram. The subsequent message had unimpeachable clarity. Find it early.
Word, mammography. It's a fast and simple procedure that can detect breast cancer early while it's highly curable. Please call your doctor. The American Cancer Society urges self-examination, regular checkups, and mammography for all women over 35. A mammogram can help save a woman's life.
That message is persuasive, but it's incomplete. Early detection has the veneer of success, but early detection is not the goal of cancer screening. The goal is to reduce disease and deaths. Detecting a cancer earlier does not ensure that outcome. Some cancers are inherently more aggressive. Others can never be felt or barely show up on X-rays. Breast cancer is not a single disease. It is a mixed group of malignancies arising from the epithelial cells of the breast, most commonly within the terminal ductal lobular unit. Tumors vary in their sensitivity to hormones, their capacity to proliferate, and their underlying genetic architecture. Some tumors grow slowly, others are aggressive from the very beginning. With an early capacity for metastasis, some breast tumors can spread distantly and cause damage quickly. Others lay silent. Screening, therefore, is not quite as simple as it seems. As screening expanded, the number of cancers detected increased, not only of invasive cancers, but of a different lesion known as a ductal carcinoma in situ, DCIS. This is a proliferation of malignant epithelial cells confined to the ductal system. These are real malignancies, they're actual cancer, but they're not uniformly destined to cause harm. They're not benign, but they're not invasive either. For an individual patient, the process can be less of a triumph of early detection than the sequence of contingencies. A lesion appears on a mammogram or on physical exam or self-examination. Then more mammograms, then ultrasounds, then a biopsy. Each step introduces its own not insignificant burden of time, uncertainty, money, and anxiety. If we do not screen, we risk missing clinically significant cancer. But if we do screen, we detect abnormalities whose significance may remain uncertain. Screening works and it matters, but it's never straightforward and it's never the whole story. In the 1990s, attention shifted from early detection to finding what causes breast cancer. Certain regions appeared to exhibit higher than expected incidences of breast cancer.
I felt crushed. I said, how did I get this? I ate all the right foods, I exercised, I did everything I was supposed to do.
Two regions in particular drew sustained scrutiny: Long Island, New York, and Marin County, California. On Long Island, local advocacy groups began reporting what they believed to be clusters of breast cancer cases. By 1993, the concern acquired sufficient momentum to reach Congress. The question: was there an environmental cause, something specific, identifiable, preventable, something in the food, water, or the air? Congress responded by authorizing the Long Island Breast Cancer Study Project.
Could it be that because we live on a dead-end street, that the water doesn't circulate as well on a dead-end street as it would if you lived in the middle of the block?
One of the largest environmental epidemiology efforts focused on a single disease. The funding exceeded $30 million, and the scope was expansive. Investigators looked at pesticides, groundwater contamination, electromagnetic fields, industrial exposures. By the early 2000s, results from the multiple components of the study had been published. No consistent or causal relationship was ever identified. Not the air, not the power lines, not diet soft drinks. Long Island and Marin County are outliers due to their affluence. At least part of the explanation may have been that women on Long Island and Marin County have health insurance, access to care, and therefore more screening for breast cancer. There's also the case of certain genetic mutations, BRCA1 and BRCA2, which can dramatically increase a risk of breast cancer in a particular woman. These mutations are more common in people of Ashkenazi Jewish origin. And guess who lives on Long Island and in Marin County?
Who knew?
It sounds biologically and statistically plausible, but it does not work. Only a tiny fraction of breast cancers occur in the setting of these genetic mutations. It is insufficient to make any meaningful statement about the population of Ashkenazim and the incidence of breast cancer. As the search for a cause continued, awareness and activism expanded. In 1982, the Susan G. Komen Foundation was established. In 1991, the pink ribbon was introduced. By the 1990s, breast cancer had become one of the most visible public health campaigns in the United States.
There are pink products on the shelves, there are pink ribbons in every store you go to on products that have nothing to do with breast cancer at all.
And the message was consistent. Early detection, awareness, action. Fundraising followed. Events drew large participation. Corporate partnerships extended the campaign's reach, sometimes with a degree of enthusiasm that bordered on the performative.
Today, you can treat yourself to something sweet while supporting a pretty good cause. Chick-fil-A locations across our area, they're teaming up to fight breast cancer. Participating restaurants in the upstate and Asheville, they'll donate a portion of all chocolate chunk cookie.
In some instances, participation was reduced to small acts of consumption. Pink grapefruit candies, pink cupcakes. Yogurt containers became instruments of advocacy as people mailed in lids from plastic yogurt containers. The contribution this made to cancer research was modest at best. The messaging far outweighed financial contributions.
Help us win the fight against breast cancer at yourlidmatters.com.
It became a race for corporate goodwill, not a race for a cure. Screening remains a subject of intense controversy. Even last month, professional societies had been debating how often women should undergo mammograms. Each mammogram confers a small but real dose of radiation. It also confers anxiety, biopsies, ultrasounds. One guideline changed just to endorse mammograms every 2 years, but of course they used the tricky English word biennial, which can mean twice per year or maybe every 2 years. Maybe they should have just said every 2 years. There is reason for hope. Mortality from breast cancer has declined by approximately 30 to 40% since the late 1980s. Screening has contributed to that decline, and so have advances in treatment. Current approaches are shifting. There is more risk stratification, more evidence about tumor biology, and about selective interventions. Early detection offers a certain universality, but cancer is more complicated than that. Screening was never going to be a solution of its own. The work since has been to understand what screening achieves and what it doesn't. Early detection sounds good, but reducing morbidity and mortality, improving survival, is the real goal. Thank you for joining me, and see you in the next one. תודה שהצטרפתם עליי, נתראה בפרק הבא. שלום.